Welcome to the Technical Foul Podcast. I'm your host, Manny Fresh. Back to the way we started with the original crew. Well, minus one, of course, but back to the dynamic duo. I have my co-host today, my original co-host, who took a nice day off to from saving the world. He Captain Planet and shit. So he took a day off from saving the world to grace us with his presence, man, after a long, almost like 3-month hiatus. He is back on the show. Mr. Lucas, how are you? The floor is yours.
Yo, what up, people? Anthony Lucas, a.k.a. Luke, back at it again. My bad for the absence. I've been working long hours, man. Long days. About to get back to a regular routine here in a couple of days, almost a week. So, be back in the stride after this. Had to take a little brief hiatus, like you said. I appreciate my co-host and esteemed friend, Manny, for holding me down, man. I appreciate it. He's still been putting out the shows. I've been listening, so I appreciate him being patient and understanding with the times I've been having. So, but I'm back, people. I'm back.
Sir, no need to apologize. Like I told you offline, I understand you are Captain Planet. You are saving the world. You know what I'm saying? You're Barack Obama circa 2007, man. You're hope, man. So I feel it, man. I feel it. You don't have to explain nothing to me, man. I got it, man. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I understand. I feel you, dog. I feel like, man, we've missed out on so many things, man. We got a lot to talk about today. I told you offline, man, I was in the process of recording a show last night, an episode last night, and never in my time podcasting, I've just said, I've thrown an episode out. I've just been like, yo, fuck it. I'm not doing it. Because the game that we saw last night, man, was just epic, man. I mean, it deserved to be talked about. And it deserved for us to do an episode like Sunday of the next week to talk about it. Like, nah, we need to talk about this shit while it's still fresh in our minds, like today. You know what I'm saying? But before we get to that, though, a couple things that I wanted to touch bases with you first. A Woj bomb from Adam Schefter. Have you been online in the last 45 minutes or so? Jimmy Garoppolo has been traded to the San Francisco 49ers.
I did see that. Actually, I did see that when I just walked in the house. So, yeah.
I'm getting off of work and I get an alert, like, from Adam Schefter. Well, I get a thing on Twitter and I'm like, 49ers trade Garoppolo to the 49ers, or to the 49ers trade for Garoppolo, exchange for a second-round pick. I'm like, what? The Patriots finally traded this nigga. Now, there's many angles you could tackle this shit by. First angle is, did the Patriots get enough? And your overall thoughts on the trade, and then did the Patriots get enough? So I guess we can start it off with that.
First off, I was surprised too. I just walked in the house. I seen it on the bottom of the screen actually, because Monday Night Football's on right now. Garoppolo gets traded, to San Francisco for a 2018 second round pick, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was shocked just like you were.
Yeah.
The second thing is, do I think they got enough? I think they made the trade before I get to they got enough. I think they made the trade because they figured Tom Brady will play for another 4 to 5 years. Like, I think they got into the season with like, all right, let's see what Tom Brady's going to be at. And then all the punishment he's taken this year already, and he's still like kicking, and they're like, all right, this guy's going to play at least another 3 to 4 years.
Well, shit, he's leading the league in passing yards.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
He's the second-rated quarterback in football behind Carson Wentz right now.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I think it's Alex Smith. Well, Carson Wentz, Alex Smith, and then Tom Brady, something like that.
Yeah.
So they're looking at their 40-year-old quarterback like, hey, man, this guy really might play till he's 45. Like, it wasn't just a statement. And if you've seen the Patriots games, he really might play till he's 45. With all the punishment he's taking, he still come back week to week. So, and he has the desire to play. They're like, hey, we might as well get something for Garoppolo while we can. With that being said, I think they could have got a first-round pick out of it. But I don't think you're going to San Francisco and getting that first-round pick, because that's going to be a top 3 pick, top 2 pick,
Yeah.
You're not going to get the top 2 pick from San Francisco.
Well, they could have got a top pick for next year's draft. I would believe so, right?
Well,
like,
no. I don't think so, because that was the 2018 pick they got, and San Francisco's looking at it like they're going to have the top-rated pick.
I understand that, but I'm not referring to a 2018 pick. I'm saying they could have probably got a first-round pick in 2019. I would believe.
Oh yeah, maybe, or 2020. Yeah, I get it, but I'm pretty sure they just want they have holes to plug next year that they want to plug.
Yeah,
and a top second-round pick is good. You're coming off the board with the first 1 or 2 picks in the second round. That's what I'm assuming that they're going to get. So
yeah.
You're going to get a strong, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a linebacker they're going to draft because New England is depleted on the defensive side when it comes to linebackers and edge rushers. So that's a great pick to pick up. And then Garoppolo's out of it. That's a good thing. And I'm glad they made the trade. I'm glad it was San Francisco because that sounds like a good thing for us Redskins fans. Because now Kirk Cousins, hey man, where you gonna go, baby? Hey,
it all circles back to that.
Hey, man,
it all circles back to that.
You knew you were going with Kyle Shanahan and the guys down in San Francisco, and it ain't looking so good, man, Captain Kirk. The way you've been playing this year, man, you don't sound like $100 million man to me. So, just saying, I think it was a great deal though for both sides. San Francisco really needs a quarterback. They really need stability. Garoppolo is pretty decent. I think he's good. I think he's above average. New England needs the draft picks because they need to add more depth. Like New England needs anything, but
yeah, right, exactly.
They could use it. Should I say? They don't need anything. They could use it.
They could use it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's a win-win for everyone. To be honest.
I guess my thought on it now that I've had at least an hour or so to kind of let it marinate in my head. Well, first of all, what the fuck are the Browns doing? The Browns got like 14 fucking, the Browns have like 14 fucking draft picks in the next year or so. So what the fuck are the Browns doing? Like, I can't imagine that the Browns are sitting there like, oh, we feel really good with, Deshaun Kaiser. like, and Kevin Hogan. Like, what the fuck are the Browns doing? Like, if the 49ers were able to pull this off, why weren't the Browns able to pull this off? Like, please somebody explain this to me. Like, literally, what the fuck are the Browns doing? Like, seriously, what are they doing?
When you're a loser, you do loser shit, all right? Like,
apparently, nigga, apparently they losers because they doing loser ass shit. Because I can't understand how the Browns sit there and said, you know what, Garoppolo for a second round pick? We're good with Kaiser and Hogan. Now the only way that this justifies the Browns not pouncing on this, because now the Browns are getting heat for not picking Carson Wentz last year. They're getting heat for that. They're getting heat for not taking Wentz or Goff. And now they're gonna get heat for not making this trade for oh shit, yeah, I forgot about that. Not taking Deshaun Watson. Now they're gonna get heat. Now they're gonna definitely get heat for not pouncing on this fucking trade, because everybody's gonna be like, well, if the 49ers were able to pull this trade off, why couldn't the Browns?
Second round pick at that.
Exactly. and the Browns got like 4 of them shits. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not accurate on it, but I know the Browns got like at least 3 or 4 second round picks in the next 2 drafts. So it's not like they didn't have the fucking, the arsenal to get them, and they probably could have sweetened the pot and thrown in another player. Or another pick. Like, I don't understand that. I really, really don't understand what the fuck the Browns are doing. I just don't understand it. Like, I really don't. And then on top of that, it's going to make it even worse if they pass on Rosen, or maybe if Darnold comes out. Like, if they pass on one of those guys, it's going to be like, man, what the fuck? What's really going on in Cleveland? Like Jim Haslett, what the fuck is going on in Cleveland? So that was like my first thought when I seen this shit happen. And then kind of when I actually broke down the trade itself, I guess I'm okay with it from both aspects. The 49ers need a quarterback, so, it's good for them. They need a quarterback, like you said. So, why not take a shot at Garoppolo? I'm not sold that Garoppolo is the second coming of Aaron Rodgers just yet. I know people have overhyped him because of a few games that they've seen him play. Well, not even a few games. I guess a few preseason games. The real game that he played last year was that Arizona game, and he looked really good. But I thought that was more about Arizona's defense than it was about Garoppolo per se. But I think Garoppolo's, he's got a chance to be pretty good. I mean, and now that I just thought about it, nigga, why did Jacksonville pounce on that shit?
Well, see, I think Jacksonville really likes.
No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't, man. They let this man throw like 10 times a game, dog. They don't like this man. They don't. You don't like your quarterback that much. If in today's NFL, you only have like 12 pass attempts. You don't like that man that much.
Bruh, but if I got Leonard Fournette, Chris Ivy in my backfield, I'm only throwing the ball 10 games. 10
I feel you. Like, I understand that.
Like, you have, like, literally, I compare, when I look at Leonard Fournette to run the ball, he looks like a smaller Herschel Walker. Like, I love the guy. Like, I love the guy. So, and then you got Chris Ivy. There's the pound and round team. And then you have a great defense out there in Jacksonville. All they want to do is chew up clock, and they just want to stop you. They can score 10 points to win a game. They know it. And they're like, hey, man, the least mistakes you make, the easier the game is going to be for us. So, and then they don't really have that. I mean, their wide receiver got hurt. Hearns got hurt, I believe.
Yeah.
One of the wide receivers, Robinson or Hearns. Whatever.
I think it was Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson. It was Robinson. Yeah, it was. They got hurt. So, Jacksonville's kind of like, hey, we don't have the weapons out here. And I get it. In Jacksonville, I think they have the chemistry. So they're like, yeah, we just don't want to fuck with it. So
I get it, but I'm just like, damn. I mean, I'm looking at a lot of teams. Of course, I'm not going to throw my team in there because the Jets and the Patriots will never make a fucking trade like that. So absolutely not going to happen. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't even think, well, you know what? Now that I think about it, I don't think the Patriots wanted to trade him in the AFC. So now that I think about it, yeah.
Especially a division rival, especially, you guys are like literally rivals.
Yeah, well, I'm not even talking about just from our perspective. I'm just talking from Jacksonville. Like, I don't think they wanted to trade him in the AFC at all. So yeah, now that I think about it, I don't think it's gonna. Yeah. Now I get it. But just going back to the trade, I mean, I think it was a pretty good trade. I mean, like I said, the 49ers need a quarterback. I mean, you can make the case that why not just you're already 0-7, so why not just play it out and take your shot in the draft next year and keep your pick? I guess you could go at it from that perspective. Cause now the other caveat to this man is a free agent at the end of the year. So now you're going to have to try to re-sign him too.
And everything.
Exactly. So I guess it's a risk for the 49ers more so than it is the Patriots, although it's a risk for the Patriots because I know we're saying that Tom Brady is balling still at this age. Amazing. But he's one bad hit away from being out and then they're in a world of hurt.
Yeah,
but that's every team. That's every team with a big time quarterback in the NFL. I mean, look at the Packers now. The Packers went from being a powerhouse to Brett Hundley being their quarterback. So yeah, so that's every fucking team, of course. But so I think it's a risk for both teams if you want to look at it from that aspect. But I mean, I don't mind the trade, really. I mean, the Patriots, I think at this point had to do it. And I think the 49ers, I mean, to me, I think any time where you can get a quarterback that's better than CJ Beathard and Brian Hoyer, then it's a win. So yeah. I think both teams did all right, man. Now we'll see now I don't think we'll be able to explore this trade until another 5 years or so because we'll have to see what Garoppolo turns into. We have to see what happens with the rest of Brady's career. So I think we won't be able to grade this trade truly for another 3 to 5 years or so. So like most trades, of course, but I think it was a win-win for both teams, man. Honestly, I really do.
I agree. Totally agree.
And then, to a subject that's a little bit more near and dear to your heart, dog, I know this 3-month hiatus of yours, man. You've had a chance.
But okay, we're gonna let you live. Go ahead.
What's that? What you say?
It ain't been 3 months, but go ahead, give it to me, man. It's
hey, whatever, man. 3 months, 4 months, 2 months, whatever, man. It's the same difference. But this little hiatus that you've had, man. I know you've had a chance to watch some baseball. I know you had a chance to no, I ain't gonna let you live, nigga. I ain't gonna let you live now because all summer long, dog, all summer long. Oh, where your Mets at? Where your Mets at? Where they at? Them niggas is bums. Ba, 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 ba. And all the while, I ain't say shit. I shut the fuck up. Hey, what can I say? My team lost 90 games. What can I say? I can't talk no shit. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, I'm sitting here. My team is fucking dreadful. We sneeze and another picture goes on the fucking DL. Of course, right? And then I'm watching the Nationals just win and win and win. Oh, 95 games. Oh, this might be the year the Nationals finally do it. This might be the year. This might be the year. Oh. And then, of course, we get to the dreaded division series. Man. The floor is yours, sir.
Oh, man. What you want me to say, man?
I want you to say that your franchise.
What you want me to say, man?
I want you to say that your favorite baseball team is a fucking loser organization. I called them a loser organization a couple weeks ago on the podcast. I'm not sure if you listened, but I called them a loser ass franchise, a losing ass organization that has no backbone, has no spine. You fight me off on that.
Listen, for one, I did hear you say that, and I was really hurt by your words, by the way. But no, let's be honest, man. Listen, Max Scherzer went out 2 weeks before the playoffs.
Oh my God! Please spare me with this shit. Please spare me with this, yo.
Bryce Harper was hurt 2 months before the playoffs. He was just getting back. He didn't have time. He was still a little hurt at the end of the season. Come on, man. Come on. Listen, the greatest thing. Okay, we lost the series like you predicted. You said call you once we get out of the division series. Of course, we didn't get out this year, division series to the Cubs. We lost in 5 or whatever. But listen, I was encouraged, man.
Oh my God. Encouraged!
Hold on. Before you jump out there. Did you see my boy Strasburg?
Yeah. The nigga that didn't want to pitch game 4? That's Strasburg?
Yeah, that's the one that did show up for game 4.
Yeah, after people had to force him to pitch.
Nobody forced my.
Nobody forced him to pitch. Oh, so nobody. So you gonna really sit here and say nobody forced Strasburg to pitch, dog? Nobody forced him, huh?
He said, "Hey, I'm sick." They switched up his medication. That's why Dusty Baker's out of there, by the way.
Oh, really?
He let that story leak, and they were like, "You know what, Dusty? The great Dusty Baker, by the way. I don't think he should have been fired the way he was."
That's another reason why y'all niggas got no fucking spine.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. If you was gonna let him go, you should have let him know right afterwards. A day afterwards. You don't wait 6-7 days afterwards. You don't wait 5-6-7 days after however long it was, and then let the man go. Like, come on, man. That was some real spineless.
That was some fuck shit.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You should never treat a legend, the way you just treat Dusty Baker. You should never do that. You should have more decency in yourself. And actually, Rizzo didn't want him to go. You know, they're saying Rizzo's on the carpet this year. Like, hey, nigga, hey, you tried to stick up for him when you want him here. Now this is your ass.
It's about fucking time Rizzo's on the carpet.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
What?
You must not remember the Expos in the Nationals before Rizzo got.
I don't give a flying fuck.
Bro, we was looking at 120 games a year.
Dog, how many managers is this man gonna hire? How many managers is this man gonna hire? This man has hired 4 managers. Okay, let's take it. I did it on the show. Riggleman.
Okay.
Davey Johnson.
Okay.
Matt Williams.
Listen,
Matt Williams. Now Dusty Baker. He
didn't want to get rid of Baker though, man.
I don't give a damn who got rid of Dusty Baker. I understand that Rizzo wanted to keep Dusty Baker. I get that, and the learners who are pieces of shit when it comes to owners. I have no respect for that fucking ownership group at all.
I get it. I agree.
Because they don't like to pay managers. They treat managers like shit, and then they wonder why they can't get out of the first round every year. Yeah, well, you keep treating your managers like shit and going through them like revolving fucking doors. Yeah, you're not gonna get out the first round.
This might be the writing on the wall for Bryce Harper too, man. Like, I don't think that kid's happy down there, man. I think, and you know, Dusty's a big player's manager if people don't know. Like, you know, of course he was a player, so he gets the angle of especially being a superstar. He got the Bryce Harper angle and, you know, all that shit. So that might be the writing on the wall, man. I've been hearing inklings that he's trying to go to Chicago, if not the Yankees, you know.
I don't think he's going to go to the Yankees now because I don't think the Yankees have room for him now. I mean, the Yankees have Judge and they have Clint Frazier, who they really like. So I don't know if the Yankees will pounce on him. I don't know if the Yankees are a destination for him like they were a couple years ago.
Cashman, man, that motherfucker go get any motherfucker back. Like,
I understand. But I mean, Well, I'll say this. Would it surprise me if the Yankees went ahead and signed him? Of course not. I'm not going to say that. I'm just saying right now I don't see a fit with the Yankees, but I mean, that could change. I mean, Clint Frazier's no fucking guarantee. So, I mean, he's no guarantee to pay him. Yeah.
With that field porch they got in New York, but I'm talking about the new thing is the Chicago Cubs,
I think the Cubs are a serious threat.
Yeah,
I think the Cubs, I think him and Chris Bryant are cool. You know what I'm saying?
He loves Chicago. He loves the city of Chicago.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, I mean, he's always done that.
I'm sure he does.
The guy's dog name is Wrigley. He named the dog Wrigley. Come on, man.
I don't give a fuck. He should name him Division Series. Maybe they get some good luck. Should name him Series. They should. He should name him Series. Nigga can't get out the first round, bro. Nah, but seriously, I think the Cubs are a threat, obviously. I don't know how the fuck they're going to manage to pull that shit off because they're paying fucking Hayward a gazillion fucking. That's another thing. I love Theo and I fuck with Theo, but Theo got to take some hits for that fucking Hayward contract. You gave this nigga $184 million and this man is getting platoon with Albert Almora in the playoffs?
Yeah, I totally agree. But
get the fuck out. And I'm not a Johnny come lately. I said it the fucking first day that deal was fucking signed. I was like, you gave Jason Hayward $184 million? Jason Hayward?
Listen what I'm about to tell you right now. Theo Epstein gets a pass for life. No matter what he does, he gets a pass for life. You might not agree.
Oh, I understand. Yes, I do. You know,
biggest curses
dog.
in sports history. You can do what the fuck you want to do.
I feel you.
You can walk around the ballpark butt ass naked.
My nigga, I feel you. Me and Theo go back way back. Like, I fucks with Theo heavy. I understand that. And I respect Theo. And Theo deserves a mulligan. I mean, shit, what the fuck you've done with Theo? Like, hey, his resume, you deserve a mulligan. I still can't understand his logic. Jason Hayward must have naked pictures of this man or something. Like, I don't know what the fuck. Theo must be Harvey Weinstein in disguise or some shit, cause I don't understand how the fuck he finagled. how the hell did he allow himself to get swindled and finagled by Jason Hayward with $184 million? I don't give a fuck how great he is defensively. He can't hit. He's terrible. Again, Albert Almora, John Jay are playing over this man in a big spot in the postseason. I'm sorry. That's a guy that's making $184 million.
Hey, man, he won the World Series, then. Listen, man, sometimes it's one or two plays, man. Listen.
Oh, so that's what we basing it off? He won a World Series, nigga?
Hey, man, listen.
Luis Soho won a World Series, okay?
Theo can do what he wants to do.
Charlie Hayes won a World Series. Is that a barometer now?
Hey, man, listen. When you break the two biggest curses in baseball on sports history, hey, man, you can do what the fuck you want to do.
I feel you, man.
You broke both of them.
Maybe the Nationals should hire him, and maybe they'll break that curse. Matter of fact, I hope that the Nationals hire him, and then I hope that the fucking Capitals hire him too, and then maybe both of those fucking loser ass franchises.
And then maybe the Jets can hire him right after.
Hey, right? Dog. Hey, at least when we get to the playoffs, the very few times that we do, we get out of the first round.
And then he can go over there to your Cornhuskers and help them out too.
Dog, we need help. I know. That hurt. I know. Go ahead.
Athletic director in Nebraska,
Hey, fuck that nigga. He should have been fired hiring Mike Riley. Scott Frost was right there. My man Scott Frost, who won our last national title, was right there. Right fucking there. Scott Frost basically said, I want the motherfucking job. Nope, no, we're not going to hire him. We're going to hire Mike Riley because he's a well-respected man. Get the fuck out of here. You serious?
Oh, that sounds like, who else had that call? Just to get off subject for a minute. You know who else had that problem? Arkansas. So, they had, what's the, shit. My wife's going to kill me. Oh, shit. The Auburn coach. Gus Malzahn.
Oh, Gus Malzahn, yeah.
So, make a long story short, I know this is in the middle of it. Gus Malzahn coached my wife's brother.
Okay.
He was his high school football coach. He's from Arkansas.
Yeah.
And he loves it. Arkansas has a vacancy. Gus Malzahn loves the, he's from Arkansas. He loves it. He wants to coach university. And they go get old buddy who's the coach for, Wisconsin.
Brett Bielema.
Yeah, Brett Bielema. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Now, hey, Brett Bielema's a good coach. I like Brett Bielema. I think he's a decent coach.
No,
what?
Nah, you don't get that in the SEC, man. You just can't. You got to get a winner. Gus Malzahn just comes off of being an offensive coordinator.
What the fuck is Gus Malzahn doing in Auburn? Okay, outside of that national championship appearance, which they blew the game, they should have fucking beat the fucking Seminoles. But what is Malzahn? All I ever hear is Gus Malzahn is this genius offensive coordinator and offensive guru, and they fucking.
So you don't remember him being the offensive coordinator that won the national championship in Auburn?
Yes, I remember that. But what have you done for me lately though? Gus Malzahn gets all this credit for being this offensive genius, and every year I look up and Auburn can't score more than 20 points.
And what has Brett Bielema ever done?
He had good teams in Wisconsin.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Has he ever won the national championship? Ever?
No.
Okay. So
Gus Malzahn hasn't either.
He won one
as a coordinator, yes.
Cam Newton was if he wasn't for Gus Malzahn.
Oh, okay, sure.
Come on, man.
Sure.
Pay the player.
You give it. All I heard this year was Jarrett Stidham was going to change Auburn around and this, that, and the other, and blah 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 blah.
Number 13 in the country.
Yes, they are, but they should be better. They should be better every year.
Where's Arkansas?
Unranked as they should be because they fucking suck.
Yeah, because their coach sucks too. I just want you to know that.
Hey, I'm not sitting here saying Brett Bielema's, Barry Switzer. I'm not saying Brett Bielema's Barry Switzer. I'm not saying that.
You said because
he's a good coach. I think I just
from the old Big Ten.
Listen.
You Big Ten guys just stick together.
Listen, man, it ain't even about being in the Big Ten, bro. Like, listen, I think coaching style. I think he just doesn't fit. I think he doesn't fit the SEC. I think there's just certain times. I just think that certain times, like look at Rich Rodriguez. Rich Rodriguez was a successful coach at West Virginia. He went to Michigan. It didn't work. Like, now he's doing good things in Arizona. Sometimes it just didn't work. It did not work in Michigan.
Sometimes you need to coach in the lesser competition. I agree. Sometimes it just don't work. You just need to go back.
It's not even the lesser competition. I just think that sometimes aesthetically, the SEC, that old school I formation type, coach just doesn't jazz well in the SEC. Now, the one thing about Arkansas, the main issue with Arkansas and Florida, we could talk about McElwain getting fired. This nigga making false, erroneous reports about, his life on this nigga made it sound like his life was on the line. Like this nigga was getting Biggie phone calls. Like, nigga, we gonna kill you, nigga.
He was trying to keep that job.
I'm saying though, that nigga was trying to play the sympathy card like a motherfucker, wasn't he?
He said, they trying to kill me.
They trying to kill me, dog. They trying to kill my wife. They tried to kill my wife. He pulled the Denzel move in American Gangster, my nigga. Like,
the Friday Night Lights straight. Like, come on. Like,
that nigga was trying to keep his job by any means necessary, bro.
It's not that serious.
And no, but Florida did him so grimy though, because Florida was like, yo, we checked into it. We didn't find nothing. We found nothing to substantiate such claims. Wow. When they dropped that line, we found nothing to substantiate those claims, they saying this nigga lying like a motherfucker. What's good with this buyout? You lying like a motherfucker.
Sign this paper.
Sign this paper, dog. We gonna give you this $2 million. We gonna give you this $2 million. Lump sum, and you will get the hell up out of here.
But you know what's the best thing about this Florida shit that's going on right now? Under the radar. If people don't know, I'm a true Notre Dame fighting Irishman.
God.
But you know what? Every week when I see Florida lose, I just laugh at Malik Zaire. You should have seen your ass at Notre Dame, motherfucker. No! It was too big for the shoes, baby. You got hurt the first game. It ain't our fault you got hurt week 1 and we gave the ball to Deshaun Kaiser. I get it, you was upset. But you could have stayed. It would have been your senior year. You would have been running a program right now. No. You wanted to transfer. We gave it to you. Be careful what you ask for. Because the grass ain't always green on the other side.
Man, you still a little angry about that Malik Zaire shit, right?
Yeah, because I was a big Malik Zaire fan. A huge Malik Zaire fan.
Is he even playing now? Is he even playing, or is that Robin Ventura, Jack Del Rio looking dude? playing.
At the end of the game, he's trying to save them after they get down by like 28 and shit.
Dog, see, but back to my original point, man. That's the problem with Florida and Auburn and all these teams. They don't have a quarterback. College has really become like the NFL now in that sense, man. You need a quarterback. You really need a quarterback now.
Not really. I mean,
you do. I mean, I'm not saying you need a fucking Tom Brady like in the NFL. You need an elite quarterback, but you need for college standards. I mean, you need a good quarterback. You need a good quarterback. The thing that killed Florida was that they haven't had a good quarterback in a long time since Tebow.
I think
Jeff Driscoll, they had a hard on for Jeff Driscoll, and we saw how that turned out. He was a fucking bum.
You even need a good quarterback, but you have to have an amazing offensive line
and defense.
Yeah, exactly. So, like if you seen in the Notre Dame games, I don't know if you watched it. Like how Wimbush can't throw the ball more than 30 yards, man.
He can't. Damn sure can't.
He's a hell of an option quarterback. I tell you that shit.
But y'all offensive line, I mean, y'all always gonna have an offensive fucking line. Yeah,
it's NFL ready.
Yeah,
of course. Like,
and then y'all also got that tight end too.
Yeah, and then the running back.
And then the running back is
he should be in the running for the Heisman. I don't know if they're giving him Heisman talk. They were talking about it last week. They should be giving him Heisman talk, but
it's gonna be hard to get. It's gonna be hard to get Heisman love with Bryce Love and Saquon, dog.
Saquon Barkley, Mr. Overrated, but okay.
Overrated? Whoa. Okay, sir. Okay. Let's slow down here for a second now. Overrated?
Yeah.
How's he overrated?
Honestly, I don't think he's overrated. But from your standpoint, what you were talking about,
I said, okay.
Go ahead.
I put on Facebook the other day, I said, in my lifetime, from what I've seen, of course, I didn't see Tony Dorsett. I didn't see, I didn't see fucking, Barry Sanders ball out in Oklahoma State. I tried to pare it down to that sense. Okay. From what I've seen in my lifetime, I've been watching college football since like 1994 or sometime around there. Since I've seen. Saquon Barkley might be the best running back I've ever seen.
So you have
in college, of course.
Yeah, and this is what the conversation was about, people. It was about the greatest running back you've seen in college football, only college.
In our lifetimes now. I can't go back. I can't go back to niggas that played in the 1960s. I can't go. Unfortunately, I didn't see them.
We get it. You didn't see Bo Jackson. We get it. You didn't see Hershey Walker, but you saw Reggie Bush. Come on, man.
Reggie was that dude. He was that dude, but I think Saquon's better.
No way. Not in college. You seen Ricky Williams. You saw, he wasn't even Lawrence Phillips, nigga. Like,
dog, to me, I was about to say Lawrence Phillips was probably the second, third best running back I've ever seen.
This nigga ain't even Ron Dane. This nigga ain't holding jock straps. Like, this nigga, like, when I even think Christian McCaffrey has been a better running back than Saquon Barkley. Like, you was outlandish with that. Like, come on.
Outlandish though? Outlandish though, my nigga? Like, yo, come on now. Chill,
I'm a Notre Dame fan, like I just said. And everyone knows if you're a Notre Dame fan, you hate everything that comes from USC. Everything. I've seen Reggie Bush beat teams by himself.
I've seen Saquon Barkley beat teams by himself.
Nah, Saquon Barkley's not on the Reggie Bush level, B. Like, I remember the game when we played, can't remember what the year it was. The push game. Everybody knows what I'm talking about with Matt Lyon.
Yeah, that bullshit ass game, y'all.
Yeah, and he pushes Matt Lyon over. Should have been a flag. He shouldn't have scored.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, nigga. When Chubby Checker was supposed to turn y'all fortunes around. Remember that?
Shout out to
ain't that nigga like 600 pounds now?
Shout out to Brady Quinn, man. Anyway, yeah, I see. Most people don't know, but we kind of tried to cheat in that game. We let the grass.
Kinda.
Nigga, you know how bad it was when Reggie Bush was in school? We used to let the grass grow when we played USC just to slow that nigga down. Real talk. They used to come in, because, the higher the grass blades, the slower you are, flitting or whatever. We used to let the grass grow Reggie Bush is coming in this week. All right, we're going to let the grass grow a little bit. We got to slow this motherfucker down because we can't stop him. No, motherfuckers ain't going after Saquon Barkley.
I understand. I understand. I'll get to Penn. Trust me, I'll get to Penn State in a second. I'll get to that because I'm about to flame them. But I mean, look, Saquon. Okay, was it a little bit premature?
You jumped off the boat.
I mean, hey man, hey, listen. Okay, maybe not the best, but he's in the discussion.
Yeah. Well, now if you would have said that, we'd have had a different conversation. You would have said, "Hey man, I think he's going to be Well, I think he's starting to enter this conversation.
I think he is, man. I think he really is, man. I think he really is starting to enter this conversation, man. I really do.
I can agree with that. But when you just jumped him, yo, this is the best nigga ever. This he's better than sliced bread. Like, whoa, B, whoa. Bread fill you up. That's good.
Okay. It was probably a little premature, but I mean, I'm just saying, man, the dude is a beast, man. The dude is a fucking beast, man. What can I say? The man is a fucking monster, man. He's clearly the best running back in college. Okay. Well, you agree with me then. Cause that comment came from something I seen on Twitter where they was talking about Saquon Barkley might be the best running back prospect to come out in the last 5 years. Do you agree he's better than Ezekiel and Todd Gurley?
Oh, yes.
I think he is.
I don't know. Zeke was a beast at Ohio
Zeke
State,
was a
man.
beast, but I thought Todd Gurley was amazing at Georgia. Like,
yeah,
I thought Todd Gurley was amazing. Like, I thought Todd Gurley was better than Ezekiel Elliott.
I think Saquon Barkley is more versatile than both of those.
I think he's better than Ezekiel Elliott right now in college. I think he is. I think he's more dynamic than Ezekiel Elliott right now in college. He's got this water. If y'all hear that buzzing in the background, it's this fucking water fountain that just keeps pumping water in the shit. But anyway, I think he's more dynamic than Ezekiel.
Okay.
I'm just comparing them in college. Saquon Barkley has not played a game in the NFL, so we have to keep that in mind, of course.
Straight college thoughts.
Gurley was always hurt in college, too.
Yeah, but, man, Zeke, that motherfucker, you won a national championship.
And he's a world-class women beater, too.
Come on, man.
What, man?
I'm mad at that. Come on, man. The way he's supposed to be suspended.
Yeah, that nigga keep avoiding suspensions like I don't know how.
Tom Brady was out of there, man.
This nigga beating the shit out of bitches and avoiding suspensions like it ain't nothing.
Yo, that reverse racism is real, man.
That black privilege is a motherfucker, ain't it? That nigga privilege is a motherfucker, ain't it?
But it's better. Oh man, that's crazy. Like, I don't know. I would compare him, like I said, I would compare Saquon Barkley more to Christian McCaffrey. Like, if you really wanted to compare him, like, but
he's better than Derrick Henry.
Of course.
I know Alabama fans ain't gonna like that shit. Him and his fucking braids is hanging off by a thread, literally. Or dreads, or whatever the fuck he has on his head. Looking like a fucking... Hey, man. You know me, man. I miss this, man. I miss it. You can't do this shit by yourself, man. Sometimes you can't have this much fun talking shit by yourself, man.
You gotta have somebody to bounce it off.
Yeah, you gotta have this shit. Yeah, you gotta have somebody to bounce the shit off, man. I mean, but anyway, yeah. But, like I said, I probably was a little bit premature, but, at the end of the day, I just feel like the dude is a beast, man. I mean, he's clearly, although I will say Bryce Love is a monster too, though, man.
Yeah.
Bryce Love is a monster too.
We'll see how good he is at the end of November when Notre Dame come calling.
Y'all come to Stanford?
Yeah, we're going to Stanford.
That's a loss. That's a loss.
We ain't worried about Stanford. We play Stanford every year.
That's a loss. That's a loss, and they're gonna beat the shit out of y'all.
Okay. Sounds good, man.
They're gonna beat the shit out of you. Yeah. Y'all niggas is overrated.
What?
Y'all niggas, I see this every year from Notre Dame, man. Y'all are like an eclipse, man, that comes around every 4 years, man. Like, I saw this shit like 4 years ago. Y'all was all hype. Y'all was all gassed up. Oh, Notre Dame is back. Ara Parsegan, this, that, and the other. Blah, 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 blah. The days of Nuke Rockney. Blah, 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 blah. We're gonna go right. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go, oh, y'all niggas was hype. And then what happened? Y'all niggas got smashed in the national title game. So, hey.
For what? Everybody at Alabama, and I want all Alabama's fans to hear this. Them niggas is on Royce and HGH, man. Them niggas be losing, man. It ain't that many big kids in the world, man. These niggas be coming out.
Them niggas do got some mongoloids playing, dog.
Yo, these niggas walk like, all their recruits come straight from prison. They be having no prison back.
They got the longest yard as they defensive line.
Yo, I'm not that big and I'm 30. Like, these niggas is huge. Like, what the fuck? Like, nah, man.
Niggas is 19 years old, 6'5", 280. Like, nigga, what the fuck?
They look like they just got out of prison. Like, yo, well, sign up.
They probably do, nigga. Hey, they probably... half of the Alabama alumni is prison wardens and shit. Ex-KKK Klansmen and shit.
Big for no reason. Like, yo, what you feeding this kid, man?
Autumn Wharton's making back deals with Nick Saban as the referee. Like, I'll give you my nigger if you.
I ain't gonna do Nick Saban like that. I ain't gonna put him up there like that.
I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying. I'm talking about the Whartons, man. You know they got a bunch of Jerry Jones out there.
Oh, damn. Make sure you don't take that knee now.
You know, fuck Jerry Jones, bitch ass nigga. But I'm saving a special flame for an NFL owner in a little bit. But let's talk about Penn State, man. I'll say this about Penn State, man. I'm giving love to Trace McSorley. I'm giving love to Saquon Barkley. Penn State's going to have some proving to do in my eyes, because the last 2 times now, in big games. I'm not talking about September 7th against Rutgers. I'm not talking about the random game against, Iowa Country Tech. I'm not talking about those, obscure opponents you face every other week and you smash them by 50 points. I'm talking about big games. And the last 2 big games that Penn State has played, this past Saturday against Ohio State, and then the Rose Bowl in January, that defense did not show up. That defense has been torched. That defense has fucking gagged on themselves in big spots. Okay. That defense got lit up by Darnold. Okay. You want to say, well, Sam Darnold, it's not hard to get lit up by Sam Darnold. Okay. I'll give you that. These motherfuckers made JT Barrett look like fucking, Warren Moon. They made JT Barrett into a quarterback, nigga. They made JT Barrett look like Brian Hoyer. JT Barrett stinks as a quarterback. He's terrible. He's horrible. He doesn't win big games. He can't throw. But hey, against Penn State.
Look like Drew Brees.
Against Penn State, he's fucking Drew Brees, Randall Cunningham, all rolled into one. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So I don't want to hear no shit from Penn State or Penn State fans. Y'all moment is done. Y'all are done, okay? Y'all moment in the sun is done, okay? I don't want to hear from y'all again this year. Until maybe a couple of these teams lose and then y'all sneak back into the national championship picture. I don't want to hear from y'all, okay? Because the biggest game y'all played, the biggest game of the season, y'all played and y'all defense spit it up for y'all. He gagged. Just gagged the fuck away. Keiki will be proud. Y'all niggas gagged, okay? So I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing from Penn State fans talking to me, oh, Penn State is... No, I'm done. Over. That's it. No. Y'all go into the back of the room now, okay? Because y'all defense did show up. Y'all want to win a national fucking championship game? Y'all can't protect a fucking 4th quarter lead? I'm done.
I want to say to all the Penn State fans out there, you had to know you was going to lose one of these games. You had Michigan, Penn State, and then next week they got Michigan State. So
I'm not killing them for losing a game, though. I'm not killing them for.
I'm just saying they kind of knew. It was a good game, competitive game. They lost it, what was it, 38-34 or something like that?
When you have a 15-point lead, when you have a 15-point lead in the 4th quarter.
Week in, week out, shit happens.
Luke, I understand. Luke, I understand that.
Hold on, for one, let's give a shout out to Penn State for coming back from the death penalty. On some real shit. Who thought we would be having this conversation this quick about Penn State?
Okay, that's a separate discussion, though. That's a separate discussion.
James Franklin, shout out to the coaching staff down there in Penn State, because y'all doing y'all thing on these lesser recruits that y'all got to get for the next, coming on again for the next 4 or 5 years. Y'all put this field. So with that being said, yeah, I agree with you. You are 15. You're championship conversation. You just don't take the shit out the being up.
And Penn State, their only goal this year was to win a national championship. Don't sell me on, we've still had a good, no. It was championship or bust for Penn State. And they still might win a national championship. They still might get into the playoffs. So I'm not writing them off completely. I want to be clear on that. I'm not writing them off completely because I'm not sold on Ohio State. I don't think Ohio State, but how the fuck is Ohio State number 1, first of all? How are they back? If Oklahoma beat the fuck out of Ohio State in Columbus, how is Oklahoma 10th and Ohio State 3? Explain that to me, please. Please.
I totally agree with you.
Please explain that to me. Can somebody explain that to me?
Because I think what the committee's doing, they're going to weigh, the way you look at it, the way I'm looking at it with the committee. And most people won't say, I think they want to position the three top conferences in the Power 5 to have somebody in the playoffs. That's the way they're positioned. Because people are going to bitch.
But just say that then. Just say that then. Don't be political. Just say that. No, they can. They can. Be honest. Be honest. We respect the Big Ten. We respect the SEC, and we respect the ACC. Although I don't think the ACC is in that discussion. We respect those conferences more than we do the Big 12, and I think the Big 12 is better than the ACC. So the logic itself is bullshit. Because I think the ACC is trash. The ACC is top heavy like a motherfucker.
Well, yeah, I totally agree with you. I don't have any arguments with you on this point, man. I'm just saying I think that's the way they're setting it up. They're setting it up to be a certain way. They're setting it up so all the three big Power 5 conferences can get it. And as you can see, that's why they're letting, like, there's no way I don't think Alabama's number one. I honestly think Georgia's number one. However, I mean, strength of schedule, Georgia should be number one.
Yeah.
However, the competition committee and even the games they played have been tougher than Alabama games so far. Where they're positioning it, therefore, like, you can't lose Alabama or Georgia, Let's say, for instance, because I don't think everybody believes in Georgia at this point. Let's say, for instance, Georgia ends up having a hiccup at the end of the year, losing to Auburn next week or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they still make it to the SEC championship game, and then they beat Alabama. They still have that factor in. They want Alabama in the college playoffs. It's good for money. It's good for revenue. Like,
yeah.
Let's just be honest here.
Yeah.
Ohio State's a big draw. You have to have them. Like, you have to have one big team in the state.
I understand that. I get that this is a business, and I understand that, but I just don't understand the logic of it. I don't understand how you could tell me that we're going to consider the 4 best teams and Ohio State is number 3.
You just don't want to be lied to.
Yeah, that's my thing. Don't lie to me. Don't bullshit me. I can see with my own eyes. Of course you're going to take, if it came down to Ohio State and TCU, you're going to take Ohio State. I get that. Like it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Remember the first time the fucking playoffs started? 4 years ago, I believe. I think it was like 4 years ago. Yeah, something like that. 4 years ago. When the whole discussion came down to TCU, Baylor, and Ohio State got in over TCU and Baylor. I get it. Ohio State is bigger than TCU and Baylor. All things considered. I get that. I understand that. But just come out and say that. Be honest with me. Don't bullshit me. Don't sit there, lie to my face, bold face, and say, well, we're talking the 4 best teams. How can you say that when Ohio State got drubbed by Oklahoma? Drubbed.
It's the same. I mean, you get the same. I mean, they lied to us with the BCS. You remember? Like, oh, it's a computer.
Oh, I understand that, but this was supposed to mitigate that. This was supposed to get rid of that. They were supposed to get rid of all that controversy.
Long as there's dollars invested, you will always get controversy. You will never get the 4 best teams in college football, to be a part of this every week thing and not projecting. Oh, humans are going to just pick the 4 best teams. If that was the case, USC should have played last year in the playoff. I thought at the end of the year last year, USC was one of the top 4 teams in college football.
I agree.
I agree. I'm looking at USC like, yo, nobody wants to play USC right now. Nobody.
I agree.
It's what they did to Penn State at the end of the year.
Oh, breaking news. Judge denies preliminary injunction and reinstates Ezekiel Elliott's 6-game ban.
This is bullshit, man. He shouldn't even play last week. Horseshit. Straight horseshit. Jerry Jones is a criminal. We should suspend Jerry Jones for his fucking lifetime. This shit ain't funny, man.
Oh shit! Hey man, I'm sorry I had to laugh at that because I knew you was gonna be mad about this shit. But
And if you listeners don't know, I'm a diehard Redskins fan, man. I believe the burgundy and gold, man. Our bigger problems are the Cowboys. We hate everybody.
Listen, I got a message. I got a message for Zeke. Let it go, Zeke. Okay. That's it. Serve your suspension. Be done. Serve your suspension while you can still come back and help your team. What are we at now? We're at, what is it? Week 8? Week 8? Yeah, it's a halfway mark. So it's week 8.
3 and 4, yeah. Next week will be week 8.
So it's week 8 or week 9, right? So if you miss the 6 games right now, you can still come back, the end of the season and still have a role on this team? No, yeah, you're right. 6 games.
He ain't gonna be no good, man. Fuck that.
No, man, take your bias out of it, man. Take your bias out of it for a second.
Fuck that. Yeah, you should be suspended for the rest. Just for fighting. Let's just suspend him for all the next year, too.
Zeke, please, all right? Take your suspension. Go home, okay? That's it. It's done. It's over with. See, you fucked yourself. See, real talk, Zeke has fucked himself up kind of because he's put himself now in a situation now where he keeps fighting this and the judges keep revoking these decisions, And what's going to happen is he thinks he's winning because he keeps prolonging it and prolonging it. Well, eventually he's going to fucking prolong it to the point where one of these judges, I don't think he's going to take it all the way to the Supreme Court. Obviously, I don't think it's going to go that far, but I think eventually, like, let's say now he finally says, oh, okay, I'm not going to fight it anymore. Guess what? You just cost yourself 6 games in the heart of the fucking season for your team, dumbass. You should have just taken, you should have taken, it's week 8. So it's week 8 now. You should have taken your suspension the first 6 games of the year. Okay. I understand you didn't want to fucking get suspended. I understand you want to fight it. I understand the chick is lying somewhat or is fabricating some of it. I'm not going to get into all that. You should have just taken your fucking suspension at the beginning of the season and you could play right now. You could probably, you be getting ready to come back soon. Matter of fact, you be back already.
Yeah. You've been back 2 weeks ago.
So I don't understand it. I don't understand it. So now he's fucked himself and now he's fucked the Cowboys. Cause now if this shit does stand, which I don't think, I think they'll appeal it again. If it does stand, you're fucked now. And the longer this is going, see, his hope is he could push it as farther out. Hopefully he pushes it out to next year, like Brady. They want to make this a 2-year thing. I don't think it's going to go that long because I think Brady had probable cause to fight a suspension as opposed to Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott, like, nigga, ain't nobody in America believes that Ezekiel Elliott didn't at least put some hand on that fucking girl. Now, whether old girl is making shit up past that, or is she fabricating, or is she getting carried away with the shit? I don't know. But Ezekiel did something. He did something. So let's just put that back. Yeah.
Well, he's not even getting. See, that's what most people are don't understand. He's not getting suspended for actually putting his hands on a woman or the domestic violence issue. It's the incidents that led up. Like he had the domestic.
Yeah, it's a combination of things. He had
the thing that was publicized with him pulling the girl's shirt down at the parade.
Yeah.
And then he had the assault thing at the bar.
Yep.
The altercation that happened at the bar. So they're just getting him on all of that. Like, you know what? You're getting out of hand. Conduct unbecoming. That's what they got him for. The conduct.
Exactly.
That's what it is. Conduct detrimental to the league, and that's the 6-game suspension. So it's all rolled in one. So if the domestic violence stuff end up being true, they're like, oh yeah, we already got you for that, but we got you for those other things also. So they just got them all wrapped up in one. Like, all right, here you go. Because I hear a lot of Cowboys fans like, well, he didn't even touch the woman. So what do you got to say about him pulling the girl's shirt down in public at the parade? Oh, well, she wanted it to happen. Whether she wanted it to happen or not, like you got it. You have one of the faces of your franchise exposing a woman's breasts on national. Like it's caught on camera. Like, yo, like it was the news channel that was covering that shit. Like, dude, what are you doing? And then in the off season, you get into a fight at a bar. Like, what are you doing? Like, dude, like, are you not taking it serious? Like, you think this is cool? Okay. All right, Pac-Man Jones, we're going to show you this. Because that's what he's heading. He's heading to be Adam Pac-Man Jones out here. Like, yo.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely is. He absolutely is. He's fucking up. I've already ranted and flamed his ass before, so I'm not going to get to that. But he's just, yeah. If I was Zeke, I would just take this shit, go with it, and just be done with it. Because you're hurting your team right now. Because if you get to,
if you keep pushing, who are your fucking friends, man? Like, who are these motherfuckers that keep allowing you to get in fucked up situations? Like, nigga, reevaluate yourself. Like,
exactly. That's the problem with these little niggas, man. They don't got their circle is fraudulent. They got a bunch of hanger-ons and niggas that don't really have their best interests at heart. So then they fuck around it.
You feeding these niggas. Like, get some niggas around, or get some guys around you that think different than what you think. Don't bring the same people. And I'm not saying just throw away your past and all your friends. No, but just get some different-minded people around. Some people that really give a fuck or care what's going on in your life.
I feel it. Yeah.
Like, how is this even possible?
Yeah.
How many seminars? This ain't the 1970s and 80s, man. Where everything happened in the closet and you didn't know what was going on. Like, you see this every weekend, every week, every year, man. The same shit happens every year. And these dummies go through the same situations.
I agree, man. I completely agree. I couldn't say it any better myself. You know what I mean? Like, I agree. But we can rant on Ezekiel Elliott and every other fucking dumbass NFL player that keeps getting in trouble. My recommendation to Zeke though is, bruh, let it go. Let it go, man. Let it go, because you're hurting yourself right now. You want to talk about this Houston Texans shit?
What Houston Texans shit? What you talking about, man?
The fucking owner shit. I got a lot to say about that shit. I got a lot on my mind about that bullshit. The fucking Bob McNair situation. If you guys don't know, Bob McNair was quoted in a meeting with the players and owners, basically saying that we've got to get this situation under control. The inmates, and I quote, the inmates are running the prison. Now, first of all, he fucked up the fucking expression from the start. It's the inmates running the asylum, but he said the prison.
Yep.
So he fucked that up. But here's my thing with this whole owners, and then of course after that was released, and that became a big ass media firestorm. Players, DeAndre Hopkins walked out of practice, and players complaining and tweeting, oh, this is bullshit. Reggie Bush, this man has to go. A couple guys and left practice, this, that, and the other. It became this big old firestorm. My first reaction was, why are y'all surprised? Why is this a controversy? First, an NFL owner said something borderline racist and stupid. Why is this a surprise? First of all, the god, Jerry Jones, the god of the NFL, Jerry Jones, said something similar a couple weeks ago. That didn't nearly get enough play. Jerry Jones said something similar to this a couple weeks ago. They all think alike. Anybody who actually wants to sit here in 2017 and think that these NFL owners care about these players or look at these players as anything but fucking cattle or sheep or slaves. I'll go as far as saying slaves. It's fucking idiotic and moronic and ignorant. Of course they look at their players like that. Of course they do. Why would you be surprised? That's why the NFL Players Association has no power, because they've never had power. These owners have always had power over these players. That's why they can get away with not paying them guaranteed contracts. And I get why they don't get them guaranteed contract. Zach Miller being the perfect example.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not getting them for that. But anybody who sits there and wants to act surprised and shocked and appalled that Bob McNair, the esteemed Bob McNair, who, by the way, of all the 32 owners who contributed and supported Donald Trump's campaign, he had the highest contributions. Mr. Bob McNair himself. Yep, that's him. Supported old Mango Unchained. So this idea that we're going to act shocked and stunned and appalled and, oh my God, Bob McNair, and he has to go and he has to, why? Why are we shocked? Jerry Jones said the same thing. He said the same thing. A little bit nicer, a little bit more, a little bit more stomachable, I guess. But he said the same thing. All these owners think alike. Ralph Wilson, the Rooney family, the Mara, they all think alike. Yes, some are nicer than others. Some are more respected. They all think alike. Dan Snyder, Woody John, these niggas all are cut from the same cloth. They all think alike. So please, let's stop with this outrage, this false outrage. Please. And another thing, these players, they're all hurt. They're upset. DeAndre Hopkins leaves practice. And they all decided to, out of 53 guys, 43 of them decided to kneel and the other 10 decided to stand. How about this? How about those 43 guys just don't show up? How about they don't play last night or yesterday? That's showing me something. You so outraged. You so angry. You so hurt by Bob McNair. Why don't you start hurting his pockets?
Well, the same thing should
I said the same thing about the Clippers a couple years ago when the whole Donald Sterling situation had popped off.
Yeah.
You know that.
When that playoff game went off, when all that. But
yeah, and they took their warm ups off and threw them on at half court. No. Don't take your warm ups off and throw them half court. No, don't play. Don't play. That sends a bigger message. Don't play.
Well, I agree, but I have to say this, so for all these people who were like, oh, he was misquoted, or the saying inmates run asylum, because a lot of people trying to take up for Mr. McNair. I'm not going to disrespect him enough, but one thing I have to tell people, especially my non-African American listeners, is, and when I say that, I mean white listeners. Bob McNair is a 79-year-old white man. Billionaire white man who was born in the 1930s.
Yeah.
So why are we expecting him to think any other way?
From the South.
I don't expect any 80-year-old white man to think any other way. Now, when I find that person, or 75-year-old or 60-year-old, when you think a different way, I'm like, okay, but I'm not going to give you the benefit of the doubt because you don't remember America in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s? Like, America is what it is. You're not going to tell me some 79-year-old white man is a racist. Like, you're going to have to prove it. Like, you're just not going to tell me because I know what you were taught. I know what America was when in the 1950s when you were 18, 19, 20 years old. I know what America was. You know, all the white listeners out there, Martin Luther King was killed in the 60s, and Malcolm X, assassinated by Americans, white Americans, so.
Well, Malcolm was killed by his own people, so that's really correct. That
right? That's what you learned. That's what they taught you in history, right? I mean, but me, I do my own research. I do my own. There's no way someone shot you from the floor when actually the bullets came from above. Malcolm X was shot from above, not below. His people were in the pulpit below. Someone shot Malcolm X from above. Bullets were going down into Malcolm X, not upward. I'm just saying. Crazier things have happened. They tell you don't be killed, but ain't nobody. We know who killed him. It was a list that came out that Hoover had. And I ain't talking about the vacuum cleaner. I'm talking about this guy who led the FBI, the one the reason why we have Social Security numbers, to track us. But that's on another subject. But it was a list he had with people, influential people on his list that he wanted killed. The leader of the FBI, the guy who created the Federal Bureau of Investigations, he had a list of people who needed to be killed. And I'm just going to name 3 names that were on the list. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and John F. Kennedy. And is a coincidence all 3 were assassinated?
Within 5 years of each other?
Hey, listen. I don't lick the gift horse in the mouth. I'm just saying.
I feel you.
But you can't tell me this 79-year-old white billionaire isn't racist. Like, and he doesn't look at his athlete or the athletes that play for his team as anything other than, like you said, cattle or inmates. Like, what a word to use at this heightened time of sensitivity. You really want to use the word inmates. We already having this problem of divisiveness in America between African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and white Americans. We are having this separation between minorities and majorities. We already having the separation. No, you don't need to add to it, man. It's already here. The leader of the free world is one of the guys who comes out in Charlottesville and say there was bad people on both sides. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, you just can't denounce the KKK? Like, you just can't say, hey, man, this shit should have never happened. We should never have that much bigotry and hatred in our hearts towards other Americans. But now we have bad people on both sides.
But it's hard to say that when you agree with what happened. You agree with the views that are being spewed.
Yeah, I know. I totally understand it. Like, it's not hard for me to see when a black person robs a white person or a black person does something harmful to a different race. And I look at that's dead wrong. Like, whatever he gets, he deserves. Like, he shouldn't have did that. He shouldn't have robbed those people. He shouldn't have shot that person. He shouldn't have did this, that, and the third. Like, he deserves what he got. It's not hard for me to do that. Like, if it's a black uprising, if it's like they're quick to say, hey, the Black Lives Matter movement, it should be a terrorist group. What, this, that, and the third. But we look at the KKK like, well, just a bunch of white rednecks acting foolish again. No, motherfucker, it's a terrorist group. They want to kill America.
A Christian terrorist group at that. Let's.
They don't just want to kill black people. They want to kill Americans. Why aren't all Americans upset that they want to kill Americans? Like, I don't get it. Like, what part of this aren't we understanding? But you want the black person, the black man, the Hispanic man and woman. You want the other ethnicity, the Chinese or the Asian or whoever it is. You want them to say, "Oh, we're American. We're in this together." But when it's against us, it doesn't really matter. Like, But yeah, back to Bob McNair. I think, I don't agree with the players, like, because if you were in for it in the beginning, you should still be in it. Don't just make this a solid, like a solitude effort to come together, like, oh.
Yeah, that's another thing, man. They swagger jacking Kaepernick shit, man. Like, I don't like that shit.
Now we're going to kneel. Well, like, well.
When none of them supported Kaepernick too. That's another thing. None of them niggas stood up for Kaepernick when the shit first popped off. Outside of a handful, none of them supported Kaepernick. They was all too scared. They was all too scared and gutless and cowardly to fucking support. Oh, I ain't fucking with my money. That's basically what they all said. But now all of a sudden it's trendy. Now it's cool. Now you want to fucking be Malcolm X and get your Black Power on. Fuck out of here, man. Y'all fake.
I totally agree. I think if you're a person, like I said the same thing about Ray Lewis, his coward ass. If you're going to say I won't do it, then don't do it. Stand for what you believe in.
Exactly.
If you believe in it, you believe in it. It's your belief, no one else's. So if you believe, hey, this is the way it should be, this is the way it should be, man. A man who stands for nothing will fall for anything. And that's what I'm starting to understand. People do things because they're cool as a fan. Like, all right, I'll do it. Like, no. If that's what you truly believe in, then do it. And if you don't, just stand by your fucking words, man.
I completely agree.
Nobody would have thought nothing different if players would have just stood like, hey, I'm just not going to do it on the anthem. I'm going to do it some other way. Like you said, not play. I'm not playing this. Just not showing up. I don't give a fuck what you take my game check. I don't care.
Exactly.
Like, okay, his words meant that much to you. Like that, you really did something about it. But don't just do something that everybody else is doing. Make your own stand.
Exactly.
Be your own being. That's just like, the Villanueva situation that went through in Pittsburgh. Most people who support the Kaepernick situation or whatever, I'm a supporter of the Kaepernick situation. However, I wouldn't have took a knee. I totally commend Villanueva. They're like, man, fuck that shit. I'm going out here for the flag. It means that much to me. And it means that much to that man. He took a stand. Like, hey, I'm never going to kneel. The country means that much to him. The flag means that much to that individual. That's what he does. And I commend him for it. Like, hey.
You got to commend Villanueva. It means a lot to him. But on the same token, I haven't heard Villanueva say, well, Kaepernick's a piece of shit. He should kneel. Exactly. You can kneel for the anthem and still say, you know what? I understand what's going on. I understand why they're dealing. And that's their right. I don't have to agree with it necessarily, but I understand and I respect it.
Yep.
That's it. That's the debate. That's it. But I get so infuriated with the media reaction and the society we live in now. It's the same thing with the fucking Gurriel thing. We're so quick to fucking, get offended and get outraged about shit that doesn't, I'm not going to say that this didn't matter because the comment was stupid and it was offensive and and the same thing with Gurriel. I'll make that clear. I think what he did was stupid. Did it deserve a fucking 5-game suspension next year? Did it deserve outrage? Did it deserve motherfuckers getting, oh my God, Rob Manfred is supporting a racist and blah, blah, blah. No, it didn't deserve all that. We have too much shit going on in the world. We have fucking a healthcare system that's hanging on by a thread. We got a president who's a fucking nutcase and a criminal. Happy Indictment Day, by the way, motherfucker. We got people losing their jobs left and right, an economy that's up and down, up and down, up and down. We still can't get the fuck out of Afghanistan. 15, 16 fucking years later, we're still in Afghanistan. Like, we got shit going on in this country, but we're worried about, Yulesky Gurriel making fucking chinky eyes towards, Yu Darvish. We're outraged about Bob McNair making a stupid ass comment. An NFL owner, a billionaire who was a supporter of Donald Trump made a stupid ass borderline racist comment. Of course he did. Why are y'all surprised? But what outrages me the more, what really gets me fucking upset is these fucking players. Oh, I'm so offended I have to leave practice. No, motherfucker, don't just leave practice. Don't show up for game day. Don't play. And we'll see how quick shit pops off. We'll see how quick shit pops off. Don't play. And I know what people who listen to this will say, oh, when have you ever given up your game check? When have you ever given up your paycheck to stand up for what's right? Blah, blah, blah. And you're right. I probably haven't. But I'm also not an NFL athlete making millions of dollars. I'm also not that person. They have a platform. They have the ability to do that in a better situation than I am. Now, of course, I get it. The backup offensive lineman may not be able to get away with that shit. I get that. We all get that. But if DeAndre Hopkins say, yo, you know what? Fuck Bob McNair. I'm not playing. Fuck him. Take my game check. I don't give a fuck. Suspend me. I don't give a fuck. And if 30 other motherfuckers in that locker room would have said the same thing, guess what? Guess what would have happened? You can't suspend 40 motherfuckers. You can suspend maybe 1, 2, maybe 5 guys you could get away with suspending. You can't suspend a whole fucking unit.
Yeah. I totally agree. But
yeah, that should just hold that outraged me, man. That and the Goriel thing. I mean, we're sitting here about to blast this. This man does anybody really believe that Uleski Goriel is a fucking racist? Or that he's a fucking, an Asian hater? Like, seriously? He did something stupid. He did something stupid because you should and I blame the athletes today. When they do something stupid, I blame the athletes in today's world because you should have more situational awareness. You have to understand that everybody has a camera now. Every phone has a camera. There's smartphones everywhere. Fox and national televised broadcasts have cameras in every fucking, I mean, they'd put a camera in people's assholes if they could get away with it. I mean, any way that you could get access to, they'd do it. So you have to understand that. And you have to be aware of that. Now, I don't think he meant to do it in malicious. If you listen to the interview that he gave one in Spanish. He said he's never gotten a hit off an Asian pitcher, and he played in the Japanese league. So he had never gotten off a hit off an Asian pitcher, and his zeal and his celebration of finally doing something big against an Asian pitcher, he did that. I'm not saying it's okay. I think it was stupid. I think it was wrong. Let's leave it at that. Let's not overhype things. That's my thing. Let's not make things more than what they are.
Well, I think though we're in a space or in a time where everything is always we're overzealous for everything.
Another podcast that I listen to calls it the pussification of America, and that's what it is. It's the pussification of America.
So we're overzealous about every little thing that happens. Now I don't want to call it little because I'm not Asian, so I don't I don't feel any way about it, or I feel as though he shouldn't have done it. I think it was in discolor and distaste to do that at that moment. Now, what I do believe is, Manfred, you have to make a stand. Either you're going to suspend him or you're not. You can't go into you're suspended next year for the first, 5, 6 games, whatever it was.
Because it didn't happen in 2018. It happened this year.
If you do it, you have to suspend him for the next game.
I agree.
Like, if you're going to do it, you're like, okay, this is the line we stand, and then you're suspended. Like, I don't want to hurt the other 24 players. I seen this little pussy ass press conference. I'm like, yo, man the fuck up. Like, no, you can't. You cannot say it's a next year penalty. This is the same thing we had a couple of years ago about the Draymond Green conversation. Mm-hmm. This is the same thing they had with the Amari Stoudemire suspension when Phoenix was on fire. If you're going to do it, you have to do it now. Like, you can't say, no, we're going to wait till next year, or we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I get it. You're trying to set this precedent. So, like, if you do something that is racially insensitive, that this is the punishment for that. You have to set the precedent of what's going to happen.
Right.
You have to set this our mark. But you can't also say, I'm going to push it all the way to next year. Because what happens if this happens next year, right before the playoffs? We do like, we're going to wait till next year? Or you're going to suspend them for the beginning of the playoffs, and then the player's going to say, hey, man, last year you ain't suspend nobody for the World Series. Like you're putting yourself in a bad position. So.
I completely agree, man. I couldn't agree with you anymore, man. I completely agree. And I guess since we talking about Uleski Goriel, man, I guess we could wrap it up talking about last night's epic game. I'll start, man. I think it definitely is it's probably the greatest World Series game that in my lifetime that I've ever seen. Again, I can't go back to 1960 Game 7. The Mazeroski home run, obviously. I can't go back to that shit. So I can't go back to that. I can't go back to some of the fucking games. Even my own Mets games with 86, I can't go back to that. Of course, I've seen them in retrospect, obviously, but it's nothing like when you see it live and in person. And you can kind of see it in real time and diagnose it and digest it. But this is the greatest World Series game I've ever seen. And this might be the best game of any sporting event. I challenge anybody to this is the best sporting event that I've seen in the last 10 years. I challenge anybody to give me a game. Maybe USC Texas for the national championship 11 years ago. I'll put on that level. Big games. I'm not talking about regular season games. I mean, you got to put something of comparison. You know what I'm saying? You can't compare Game 5 of a World Series to, a college football game in September. That's not fair. Look at the stage. Look at the what was on the line. The only other game I put on that level was maybe SC Texas. I can't think of anything else. Maybe Game 7 or maybe Game 6 of Spurs and Heat is on that level. Maybe Game 7 of Cavs Warriors a couple years ago. Those are the only ones that come to mind that I can think of. No NFL games. I mean, maybe Super Bowl, maybe maybe the first Super Bowl with the Giants and the Patriots, you could put on that level. Outside,
I think you can put this last Super Bowl on that level. Well, it wasn't.
Not on that level. I don't think, I mean, the comeback was epic, but I don't think you could put the entire game on that level. Like, because really, when you think about it, for 3 quarters, it was a blowout.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, yeah, you can
say that about this game too, because the first 4.
Yeah, but I mean, but you've watched baseball long enough. 4-0 lead ain't exactly a blowout necessarily.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you can put that on the.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can make caveats for little different things, but I mean, just kind of going back to just kind of getting it all on one page. I think this is the best game I've seen all year, and best game I've seen in the last 10 years. This was an amazing game. I mean, it had everything. I mean, I know people like to, rag on baseball. It's boring. I mean, that you could shut that shit down. If you watched last night and you don't like baseball or you don't respect baseball, then you're not a sports fan, because that was sports last night. That had a comeback, that had dramatics, that had, the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. That had everything that you're looking for in sports. Everything. I'm sorry. If you don't like baseball, you rather watch, Cavs, Knicks. Hey, God bless you. You know what I'm saying? But this was sports last night, man. It was an amazing game. I think the Dodgers are done. And I think they lost the series in game 2. I think Roberts with that. See, this is the problem with the Dodger formula, and the formula that a lot of MLB teams do with this bullpen, where this rush to bring in 45 different relievers. When these guys are off, that fucks up your entire plan. Because the bullpen by committee, bringing in 14 guys to, pitch a ball game, that's all fine and dandy when it works. You bring in Brandon Morrow in the 5th inning, bop, bop, bop. He strikes out a couple guys. Great. Works. You bring in, Maeda, he strikes out a couple guys for an inning or 2. Pop, it works. Then you bring in it works perfectly when everything goes according to plan. But when a guy gets roughed up or a guy doesn't have it or this, it just throws everything into a loop. It just throws everything. And I think that if the Dodgers lose this series, which I think they will, because I think after last night, it's hard not to pick Houston. With that momentum, with that feeling, and then they got Verlander on the mound. It's hard to not see Houston winning. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the Dodgers force a game 7. I wouldn't be surprised. But right now, I'm going to say Houston's going to win this tomorrow night. But whatever. I think if the Dodgers go on to lose this series, like I think that they're going to I think they're going to forever look back at game 2 and taking out Rich Hill after 5-8. I didn't understand it then. I will never understand it now. I mean, I don't get it. He lost that series. And before I let you speak, my bad. I'm done with Clayton Kershaw. I'm done. I'm done. Clayton Kershaw now, he's going to get some heat from me for the rest of his career now. I don't want to hear about how great Clayton Kershaw is. He can win every ERA title from now to the year 2025. He can win 40 games a year. I don't give a fuck what he can win 16 Cy Youngs. I don't care. From now on, he is the Peyton Manning of baseball. Okay. He's probably the best pitcher that I've seen pitch in a long time. Maybe since Pedro and Randy Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
It's over. Until he wins a fucking big game. Mm-hmm. He is. Okay. It wasn't a big game. There was no pressure in game 1. There was no pressure. No. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Dude, we know how you feel about the guy. We know how you feel about Clayton. We know it. I mean, it doesn't matter that he's won. His team has won the 7 out of the last 8 games before last.
Dog, I'm wrong? Am I wrong, though? You think I'm wrong for being this hard on Clayton Kershaw?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Finish.
I want to tell you facts, not opinionated in how I feel. 7 out of the last 8 playoff games Clayton Kershaw has pitched, the Dodgers have won. Game 1 of the World Series is a big game, big thing. If it's not, why are we watching the World Series? When we just watched the last game of the series to watch. With you saying all that. And you're a baseball fan. So you have to say game 1 was a huge game. Now, yes, he isn't the most clutch pitcher of all time. And I think the clutch gene, people are like, oh, you have to have this. I want you to go out there and pitch 6 scoreless innings, 7 scoreless innings. No, that Houston lineup is probably the best lineup since the '04 Boston Red Sox team with Manny Ramirez and Big Poppy and Dustin Pedroia when he was still young. Like, that's a great lineup to go 4.5 innings with no hit, like one hit. Like, that's a great lineup. Now, I get it. You're saying now I get it. Clayton Kershaw is considered to be above average. He's supposed to be on a different level from other pitchers. Like, he's supposed to be the modern-day Sandy Koufax. But with that being said, you have to understand, Clayton Kershaw isn't battling Matt Scherzer or these other pitchers out here. He's battling ghosts. Like LeBron would say, you're battling ghosts. When you're battling the greatest to ever play in the game, like the great Maddoxes of the world, the Randy Johnson, the Pedro Martinezes, like you said, of the world, it's a different argument we're having. So does this downgrade your belief that he can be the greatest of all time? Well, maybe. I can't argue with that, but you can't say, like, he's not in the conversation, or just because he had a bad game here, he had a bad game 4 years ago. I can't. Yo, he pitched four stellar innings against the best lineup in baseball, hands down. This is the best lineup in baseball. There's no arguing about it.
Agreed.
And you going through that lineup 2 to 3 times, and then you already pitched the game one where you gave up one hit and one run? Like, come on, B. Like, that's tough, B. That's tough. Now, with that said, I get it. He blew a 4-over lead.
He blew 2 leads. He
should have held on, and shit happened. Now, in that game, like you said, let's get back to like you said, I'm not the hugest baseball fan. I like baseball. I've grown to love it. So that game last night, like you said, was like, that's probably the best. This has been the best series since, I believe, the '04 Boston Red Sox coming back and beating the Yankees.
I agree.
Like, this has been the best series I've watched.
I completely agree with you.
Since then. Like, I'm fucking, like, I'm glued to the TV. Like, and I have no stake in it. Like, you know, like you said, the Nationals have already been kicked out the playoffs.
Long ago.
But yeah, man, like, this series has everything you want. Like, it has everything you want as a sports fan. It has when you think you know who's going to win, and then the next team comes out and pulls out this fucking miracle. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, it has your heart and your jaw just going back and forth. So, last night was an awesome game. Like I said, this is the best game. And we've had great moments in the last couple of years that make you kind of, not enjoy this moment as you should. We have the block, what they call the LeBron James block, and the big shot by Kyrie in Game 7. And then you have, you know, the comeback for the Patriots last year's Super Bowl. But I agree with you. This has been the best series I've seen probably since, I don't want to even say the Golden State in Cleveland series, because a couple of those games were blowouts.
Yeah,
blowouts. So this has been the best series, like I said, since 2004, Boston and New York. This has been the best series I've seen since Boston and New York, when the Red Sox finally overcame the curse. Like, so within the last 13 years, this has been the best best series period I've seen in the last 10, 15 years. And no question. Not even the best sporting events I've seen in the last, and I'm not a huge baseball fan. Football is number one to me, like, as you know.
Yeah.
So this has been the best, the most competitive, intriguing series I've seen in the last 15 years, man. And I'm drawing in every game.
And that's big of you, because like I said, like you said, you're not a big baseball fan, so that's big of you.
I've just grown to love baseball, and it's to have no stake in it. You know, some games you just have no stake in it. You really don't care.
Yeah.
You know, like the New England and Atlanta game. Like, I watched the Super Bowl, but I wasn't intrigued at the end. Like you said, like, whoever won. I really didn't give a fuck. I love Tom Brady. I want Tom Brady to win, but I really don't have, you know, whatever. You know, Wizards aren't playing in the NBA Finals. LeBron isn't playing in the NBA Finals. I really don't care. Like, well, whatever. It happens. But this series, like, I'm drawn in. Like, oh shit! Like, I'm emotionally attached to something that, like, it's like being emotionally attached to a kid you never meet. You know,
yeah,
a child you will never see. Like, I'm emotionally attached for some odd reason, and I don't know why.
It's crazy.
Yeah, this is a great series, man. People who aren't watching, who don't like baseball, like you said, might think baseball is boring. You should tune into these games. And
Absolutely.
Say, oh shit, this is what makes baseball so interesting. Even though it's a long game, you don't have to click in on the fifth inning, the sixth inning, like you said. I think it's a great series, man. I think if Houston goes to Game 7, you have a problem. So if you want to kill the Dodgers, kill them now. The thing the Dodgers do have going for them, the next two games are at home. So you have that going for you with Game 6 and Game 7 being in LA. With that being said, you got to get to them now. You got Verlander going to Game 6. So this is your best bet. And this is what Verlander was bought to Houston for. So, I mean, what a pickup. You know, like at the end,
and the crazy thing is, and I read something on SI today that he wanted to go to the Dodgers. That was his first choice. That was the only team that he would really waive his no trade clause for, was the Dodgers, and they didn't want him.
Yeah.
They didn't want him.
Beyond stupid. Why wouldn't you want that ace? But here we are, Game 6 in LA. Justin Verlander, I think Verlander's going to pitch a gem. I think he's really, I love Justin Verlander. I think he's fucking awesome. So
you think the Astros close it out tomorrow?
I think they close it out tomorrow. If they don't close it out tomorrow, they lose.
They lose the series, yeah.
Yeah. So, but this is their shot. You have your guy on the hill. You have the guy that you went, the guy you wanted on the hill. The guy you wanted since the beginning of the year. This is the guy you traded for to be there for this moment. Justin Verlander loves the moment. He's a spot guy, and this is it, man.
I agree with you. Now, the only thing I'll disagree with you, and I'll go back to my Kershaw rant for a second. When you make $31 million, $31 million now, and you wanted to give me stats, you felt good about giving me stats. I'll give you stats. 4 times the Dodgers have faced elimination with Kershaw on the mound, and they've lost every single time. And it hasn't been like, oh, he's pitched 9 innings and they've lost 1-0. No. Last year against the Cubs, he was fucking bombed. A couple games in those Cardinals series, he was bombed. Against the Mets a few years ago, he didn't pitch well. All I'm saying is when you make $31 million and everybody in the baseball world crowns you as the greatest pitcher of your era, of your generation, I'm not saying you got to go out there and be Madison Bumgarner in the postseason a couple years ago. I'm not saying you have to do that. But can I expect more in a Game 5 and a 2-2 series when you have a 4-0 lead and then a 7-4 lead for you to hold that lead and give me at least 6 to 7 innings? Is that too much to ask? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying go out there and be fucking, Madison Bumgarner. I'm not saying go out there and be Sandy Koufax. I'm not saying do any of that. All I'm saying is when you make $31 million and everybody basically throws bouquets at you, year in and again, it is warranted because the man is great. I'm not stupid enough to sit here and tell you that Clayton Kershaw isn't great. I would take him on my team tomorrow. Of course not. Of course. But when you make $31 million and everybody in the world calls you the best pitcher in the world, can I expect 7 innings? Go out there and give your team a chance to win? Can I expect that? Is that too much to heart? Is that too much to ask? That's all I'm saying. That's all I am saying. But I agree with you. I think the Astros are going to get. Now, the one thing I will disagree with, I'm not so sure if even they lose tomorrow that they will. That's how crazy this series has been. That I'm not so sure that they don't even win Game 7 because I think they have the pitching advantage in Game 7 because McCullers is better than Darvish right now. So I'm not so sure that they don't win Game 7. I really wouldn't be surprised. So I think it's definitely up in the air. Did we lose Luke?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't agree. I think, but that's the great thing, like you said about the series. Like you really don't know.
But think about it. Think about this series and how it's gone and how it's played out, man. I mean, would it even shock you if the Astros lost tomorrow and then they still won Game 7? Like that's how crazy this series has been.
That's what I'm saying. And that's exactly what I'm saying. This series is so intriguing. You can't predict it if you want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you don't know. Like you could have said the same thing after Game 4. Like
yeah, I thought the Dodgers were dead in Game 4.
The Dodgers were done.
Yeah.
I thought they were buried.
And I thought AJ Hinch blew that game. Because why the hell are you taking Charlie Morton out in the 7th inning? Charlie Morton is your best option to go to those bums in that bullpen. Again, I've seen that bullpen enough now. That bullpen. As a matter of fact, I want to sit here and publicly apologize to the New York Mets because every year I say the Mets have a fucking crappy bullpen. Every year since I've been a fan of the Mets have had a crappy bullpen, in my opinion. I apologize now. I apologize to Steve Phillips. I apologize to Dallas Green. I apologize to Sandy Alderson. I apologize to Jim Duquette. I apologize to every GM that we've had in that time frame since I've been a Met fan. Okay, I apologize. Okay, this bullpen is fucking hideous. This is the worst bullpen I've ever seen in the postseason. In my life, I've never seen a worse bullpen. I've seen enough. Ken Giles is a bum. I could have told you guys that from when he was in Philly, he was a bum. I wouldn't trust Ken Giles with your life. So, Ken Giles is terrible. Davinsky is up and down, but he's pretty much terrible. Musgrove, all I hear is Musgrove is this, Musgrove is that. Musgrove is trash.
I would call him trash.
No, he's fucking trash. He's fucking trash.
Like, just useless.
Just trash. He picks up on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Trash.
Yo.
Trash. So I thought AJ Hinch blew that game. But I mean, again, this series has been crazy. It wouldn't surprise me if the Dodgers win tomorrow, beat up on Kershaw. It would surprise me if they beat up on Kershaw. But I mean, would it shock you if Kershaw went out there, had a bad start, gave up 4 runs, and the Dodgers won? They were feeling good about themselves, and the Astros go out there with McCullers and win Game 7? It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me at all. That's how crazy this series has been.
Yep.
All right, man. I'm going to let you go, man. I appreciate you for joining me on the podcast, man. You are back you finally came back to work officially. This nigga took a 3-month hiatus and officially back to work.
Come on, man.
It's all good though, man. It's all good though. We'll catch you on the podcast next week. But anything you want to tell the fans before you go, man?
No, man. Appreciate you guys for still listening, like I said. Listening, subscribing, writing comments. So all the people who thought there was a rift between the two, I'm sorry to
no rift. No rift.
Guys know that there is no rift between us. All the people who wanted the rift to happen. There's no rift, man. I just appreciate my co-host, the great Manny Brown, for understanding. And of course, we're friends, so he does understand. Outside of this, we talk. I just didn't have the time working double shifts.
It's all good, man. You're Captain America, man.
Yeah. So I just appreciate all you listeners, man, and waiting for me or asking about me and making sure we were good as friends, more than just co-hosts. And, like I said,
nosy ass niggas, by the way. Nosy ass niggas.
Yeah, it's deeper than rap, man. This is my guy, man. This is my friend. This is someone I call a brother. Outside of this, there can never be a rift between us two that'll lead to me not enjoying this guy's company and having great sports conversations with this man. So, there's no rift between us if you guys thought that what it was. He was just understanding of my situation, and I appreciate him. So, to all the listeners out there, I'm sorry I left you for so long. Things are in order. I go back to a regular shift starting on the 4th. No more of this night shit where I'm dealing with all these scumbags every night, putting my hands on me. Like, I'm just regular going back to a 9 to 5. And people don't commit crimes in the daytime, man. I don't want to deal with y'all, man. Please let this be easier on me in the daytime, man. So I'm not, you shouldn't be doing no robberies. You shouldn't be out here doing no sex deviant shit. You shouldn't be out here killing, hoeing, none of this in the daytime, so I ain't got to deal with it, alright? From 6 to 2, y'all need to stop. Y'all can still do it at nighttime, so they ain't gonna have to
Oh, shit.
But anytime between, 6 to 2, please stop this, man. Like, why you committing crimes at 8:30 in the morning, man? You gangbanging on bacon. Like, for real, like, my Mexican brothers. Don't be gangbanging on bacon, man. I'm just trying to live, man. I'm just trying to make this money and live, man. Don't make me do what I gotta do. But on a real note, I appreciate all y'all. Thank you guys. I appreciate, my brother Manny for holding it down for so long.
Hey.
And I'll be back with you guys next week. Hopefully we'll do a show in person next week. Get the times down frame, like I said, back to regular schedule. So we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, man, no doubt. We'll do that, man. Hey, like I told somebody offline, man, remember the Bernie Mac joke, man? You're Johnny, man. You're that nigga to take a break and we got to come look for your ass, nigga. Like,
this nigga's on break, man.
Hey, you seen Johnny?
Black people go on break. They go on break.
Nigga, when black people break, that's just what the fuck we do. We break. You gotta come look for our ass. Well, we had to come look for Luke, apparently. We had to come look for Luke, man. Hey, man. Oh, man. But yo, man, I thank you for being on the show, man. I appreciate you, man. You know how I feel about you, man. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you being on the show. I think I'm great, and I think I do a great solo show myself. I still do some solo shows from time to time, but I feel like the show is much better when I got you, and shout out to Justin too, man. He was supposed to be on the show tonight too, but shit fell through, so he didn't join us. But you know, I feel a lot better when I got you guys, man, to bounce off ideas and just to talk shit up. So, you know, the show is a lot better when you guys are around. So I just want to thank you and appreciate you, man. I appreciate, man. And I respect you, man. Cause like I said, you do some shit that I can never do. I definitely can never do. So I got a lot of respect for you, but you already know that. We talk offline. We you know what I'm saying? We all know that, but yeah, man, but thank you for being a part of the show, man. Short notice, really short notice. And, you made it happen and we made magic like always, man. But I'll holler at you later in the week, man. We'll get together. We'll do some times for the show. We'll definitely be back, together. The gang all here. Starting next week, man.
Yep, sure will.
All right, bro. Thank you for joining the show, man.
All right, man. Peace out next week, people.
Yes, sir.
Brothers and sisters! Brothers and sisters! I don't know what this world is coming to.
Fouls of the week. And my foul for this week goes to Robert Griffin III. You guys know him as RG3. This man lives in fucking denial. I'm convinced of it now because he did an interview a couple days ago. I think it was, sometime last week. He did an interview on a Washington radio station. And it's almost, it sucks that I don't have Luke, on the line anymore because I definitely would have liked to get his thoughts on this whole situation. But he did an interview with the local Washington radio station and basically talking about his career and his time as with his infamous time with the Redskins or whatever. And he's basically sitting there and this man, not one time in his entire fucking interview, takes responsibility for his career basically going down the fucking drain. This man basically blames everybody. He blames the Redskins organization. He blames Mike Shanahan. He blames everybody under the sun. He goes on to say that, I was in a bad situation from the start, that nobody believed in me. I got drafted to an organization that didn't believe in me from the start, a coach that didn't want me from the start, yada, 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 boo, 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 dee. He just basically started going on this diatribe of, woe, it's me, poor Robert Griffin, I'm a victim. I've been treated so wrong. My career's like this because of this, and because I'm in the same boat as Kaepernick, I should have another fucking job because of this, that, and the third. And I just couldn't believe what the fuck I was listening to. I couldn't believe what I was hearing with my own ears. I was like, whoa, hold on, Robert. Robert, first of all, the idea that the Redskins didn't believe in you is so ludicrous and so asinine for you to even state that on public radio that it doesn't even warrant any kind of understanding or comprehension. This is a team that traded their entire draft for about 2 or 3 years just to trade up with the Rams to get you. So the idea that they never believed in you, the idea that they didn't love you, that they didn't trust you, that they never believed in you, they never liked you, it's so ludicrous that I can't even stomach that. Seriously, Robert? They didn't want you. They didn't believe in you. Yet they traded half their draft to get you. They didn't want you. Okay, maybe Mike Shanahan didn't want you. Maybe Mike Shanahan didn't want you. That's probably accurate. But don't say that the Redskins organization didn't want you. Please don't. That's not fair. That is not fair. That is not accurate. That is just a bold-faced lie. Okay? The Redskins organization did want you because they traded half their fucking draft to get you. So I don't want to hear that, the Redskins didn't believe in you. The Redskins didn't want me. That's bullshit. Furthermore, don't put yourself in the Colin Kaepernick situation, in the Colin Kaepernick boat, because you're not in that boat. Number one, Colin Kaepernick can still play. You can't. Your injuries derailed your career. Unfortunately, injuries derailed your career. That is why Robert Griffin III is not in the NFL right now, because injuries have derailed his career. He cannot play. Physically, his body cannot withstand the rigors of the NFL. And that's sad, because I thought Robert Griffin had a chance to be a very good quarterback. Not to mention all of the other locker room issues that he had when he was in DC. You know, him being too buddy-buddy with Dan Snyder, you know, him kind of being perceived as a coon to a lot of players in that locker room. I mean, he had a myriad of issues. So for Robert Griffin to get on the radio and basically, you know, write a soliloquy about everything that's wrong with Robert Griffin and why he's been treated so unfairly and the world is, whoa, it's me and I'm the victim. And I mean, come on, stop, Robert, stop. Okay. Stop. Please stop. That is such bullshit that I don't even understand how those radio guys let you even get away with having that fucking interview. Like, I don't understand it, because if I was on that station and I was conducting that interview, I would have cut him off instantly. Like, wait. The Redskins organization didn't believe in you? They didn't believe in you? They traded after draft to get you. Not to mention they put up with your bullshit for year after year. So I'm sorry. I find it hard to believe. Now, maybe at the end, when Jay Gruden came along, yeah, they didn't believe in you, because at that point you've been injured for 2-3 years. So of course they had lost faith in you is probably a better, a more accurate description. But that they didn't believe in you, that they didn't want you. They traded half the draft to get you, Robert. The Rams are still profiting off that trade. So again, please shut your ass up, okay, and cut the goddamn braids. All right. It's 2017. Cut the goddamn braids, all right? That shit looks ugly. Please cut the damn braids off. I don't know if you have or not. I haven't seen them publicly in a while, but please cut the goddamn braids off. Enough already, okay? Maybe if you cut your fucking braid. Nah, I'm not going to say the Michael Vick shit. That should sound ignorant. But yeah, man, Robert Griffin is my foul this week, man. This nigga here. Man, I would have loved to have Lucas on the line, because Lucas would have probably flamed this nigga too. But, you know, don't blame others for your misfortune. Don't blame others for your fuck up. Don't blame others because you threw your career. And I can't even say he threw his career away. He just couldn't hold up. Physically couldn't hold up. He couldn't hold up. There's no shame in that. A lot of guys just physically don't make it. He had bad knees coming into the draft. He had bad knees coming into the league. And eventually he got the best of them. And it's sad, because he could have been one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Could have been. And it didn't work out. Just say that. Don't sit here now and blame Mike Shanahan, and don't blame Dan Snyder and the Redskins organization for your lack of a job. Don't do that. And the reason you don't have a job now is because you fucking failed with the Browns. When the Browns don't even want you right now. The Browns don't want a lot of quarterbacks, but that's besides the point. But Robert Griffin, you don't have a job in the league because of you. Because you can't play anymore. This has nothing to do with you. This has nothing to do with race. This has nothing to do with collusion. This has nothing to do with any of that. So don't put yourself in the Colin Kaepernick bracket. Please just don't. Just don't. You sound stupid as fuck right now. Don't do that. That's my foul of the week. I hate to have a foul of the week concerning Kaepernick 2 weeks in a row. But, yeah, that's just, I couldn't believe it. And I was just browsing through, and, you read the headlines, you click on it, you see the interview, and I was just like, what the fuck? This man had the audacity to say this shit on a DC radio station and got no flack for it? Get the fuck out of here. No way. No fucking way. No way. So that's my foul of the week. I'm going to get up out of here, man. I want to thank again Luke for joining us on the show. He's back. I'm glad to have Luke back, man. The show's been missing him a lot. I love doing solo shows. I'm still going to do some solo shows, but it's definitely good to have my boy back to talk some sports and get into arguments and heated, ignorant ass debates. It's good to have him back on the show, man. So he'll be back sometime next week. Definitely get this thing popping and kicked off. Yeah, man, I just want to say thank you for everybody who listens, who subscribes to the show. As always, I know this gets old. I'm not going to bore y'all again with my little soliloquy. But, man, if you listen, if you subscribe, if you download, if you share, retweet, put other people onto the podcast, man, thank you. I truly appreciate it, man. I wouldn't be doing this show without you guys, without your support, without your support of the show. So just thank you so much for following, for supporting the show. No podcast would be able to succeed without us listeners. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for subscribing. Keep listening, keep subscribing. And if you like the show, if you're a fan of the show, drop us a review on iTunes. We need those reviews. I say that every week, but we need those reviews. It's how we keep going and keep growing and keep, making our way up the rankings, to let iTunes and other users find our show. So, if you like what you're listening to, man, don't just express it through social media or tell your friends, but, write a review, put it on paper, put it on wax and put it on iTunes, man. So as always, keep subscribing, keep listening. This podcast is available on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes, everywhere, man, everywhere. everywhere, every podcast service, we're there. So keep subscribing, keep downloading, keep listening, man. Follow us on Facebook, The Technical Foul Podcast. Follow our fan page at The TFP Nation. It's a lot of wild shit goes on in that fan community site. So just, keep listening, keep subscribing, keep following the Facebook page, join the TFP Nation group. And just have a good time with us, man. We act a fool on that page, man. Follow us on Twitter, The TF Podcast 1. On Twitter, The TF Podcast 1. Follow me on Twitter, The Manuel Brown. My shit is lit. My Twitter is hot. So follow me. Also follow me on Snapchat, MannyBro15. MannyBro15. I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Tomorrow's World Series game should be epic. It should be great. I can't wait for it. It's going to be an awesome fucking game, man, for real. This series is amazing. But, yeah, man, keep listening, keep subscribing, keep downloading, man. We'll catch y'all next week. Be safe, be prosperous, be great. Thank you for listening, man. We out. Peace.
Serious sound.